Greetings from the Erie Coast, this is Mad Shad. On this wonderful day, Saturday, damp, approximately 50-something degrees. It's a good day. Emotion alert. It's gonna get wet. It's a wet day. I'm here to inform you that early this morning, between 1:30 and 1:57, Charity passed away peacefully in her sleep. 9 days without food. 9 days. Amazing. Unheard of. Usually canines last about 3 to 5 days. She lasted 9. 9 is an auspicious number. Especially in my world. My world is numbers. I'm a 3 attitude. No, I'm a 9 attitude with a 3 life path. 9 is like the worker number. 3 is the communication number. Artistic number guy, whatever. 9 is also an auspicious number in Old Norse, in the Old Norse mythologies. 9 days reoccurs throughout the mythology, the ethos, the sagas. 9 days is always an auspicious number. I could go into depth about the stories of 9 days. Why 9 days? Why me? Charity, 9 days. The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, well, she was a bit of a Viking, She traveled. She found plunder, treats wherever she went. She was loved by everyone. So those animals unfortunate to cross her path and cross her. It's kind of like Maya's story too. I've said it before, me and Odin have a lot in common. Except I still have one eye. I still have both my eyes. Maybe one day I'll lose an eye, I don't know. There's deer all over the woods here. No one is coming to investigate the final resting place. That's why I'm out here. Alright. So yeah, Charity passed away in her sleep peacefully. Approximately 1:30, 1:57. I don't know, because we fell asleep together. Kind of passed out around 1:30ish. Woke up 1:57. She was not breathing. Very, very peaceful. Very, very peaceful. So she will be loved, and she will always be remembered. Just kind of hanging out here, enjoying the peace and solitude, surrounded by the surrounded by the city, I guess. So, yeah, it's been for 9 days. 4 of those days I worked. Every day after work, I was betting with myself if she was going to be alive when I got home. Every time she was. Every fucking time. It's like she waited. She waited for this day. I talked to her. I pet her. One of the things I told her, I said, you decide when to go. It's not up to me. I think it was the right decision. Most people do the whole euthanize thing. They don't want to end the suffering. They don't want to see the animal suffer. And they don't want to deal with it. Right? It's a very strong emotional thing. It has been a very strong emotional thing. But I think it's very important, especially for me and for her, to go through this, to live, to experience, and to die. And all the work that comes afterwards, before, during, and afterwards. We have such a busy, hectic schedule. It's the preoccupation. The preoccupation of modern life. Get out here. The creek still flows. It's on its own schedule. It does what it wants. Trees die. Rocks break. The deer graze. The squirrels run around, preparing for the winter. The leaves fall, turn colors and fall. Yeah, we carry on with our lives. We have shit to do, right? Always shit to do. Always things that preoccupy our time, pull us away from this place. So something else I observed as well, reflection, if you will, is that last night, on the ninth night, if you will, in the darkest hour, I talked about this, the Great Hunt. It's a story as old as time. Some would argue it's the oldest story, the Great Hunt. The Great Hunt happens late at night. I think that's what it was. So I can, my imagination, kind of runs wild and says, well, that's when Charity hung on. She hung on and waited until the Great Hunt come through. Ran through the night. They chase the night. They stay in the night. The Great Hunt is at night. And they gather up all those who have passed to join the Great Hunt. Just imagine it. Hundreds, thousands of men on horseback, men running, dogs running. Because dogs were absolutely used for hunting. Dogs hunt. Dogs will hunt, right? It's the wolf in them. They hunt. And that's when the hunt happens at night, the great hunt. So they all joined the great hunt. So Charity joined the great hunt last night around 1:30 to 2 o'clock. 1:57 is when I woke up and realized she was gone. And after that, I let her lay. I let her lay where she was. There's pictures to come. I'm trying to figure out how to put the pictures in the video. I'm working on that. So she joined the great hunt last night. I realized she was gone. Kissed her goodnight, and I went to bed. I was extremely exhausted. Stayed up with her all night. And I must have passed out maybe 1:30 with her sleeping in my arms. Sleeping on my arm. She fought all night. She tried to get up. She was way too weak to get up. She would fight to get up. But she's so weak, boom, she would fall back down. And then later on, that continued. Heavy breathing, purposeful breathing. And then she got mad. Oh, she got mad. She bared her teeth. She gave a little growl. I could tell she was fighting. She was fighting. She was weak, though. She would raise up, rally, bare her teeth, boom, lay back down. And every time I try to hold her head, she thought she was gonna bite me. She actually did raise up and kind of. She didn't open her mouth. I guess she was too weak to open her mouth, but she kind of bumped my arm like. Wow. And everything changed. She raised her head up and propped it on the couch up high. And she started really labored breathing. Really, really labored breathing. Every breath was a struggle. Her teeth stayed bared. Every breath. And then everything changed. Her eyes were open the whole time. And everything changed. Her breath went very, very relaxed. Her body was still rigid. Her eyes were still open. But the breath was... I had my hand on her the whole time. She was resting in my arm, on my arm. My other hand was on her heart and lungs. Stayed that way the whole night. And every breath slowly got weaker and weaker. She got more relaxed and more relaxed. A long time she breathed like that. So long that I guess around 1:30 I passed out with her. I woke up. She was cold. She was cold all day. That's how I knew. This whole time, for 8 days, she had been hot. Like she had a fever, hot to the touch, very warm. But not yesterday. She was cold. She wasn't shivering though. She was cold to the touch. I did give her a piece of steak when she was going through her fighting thralls. I cooked steak She started to growl, little growl. And I had 3 pieces of steak. So her last meal was steak. And I held it out, and she was just like, mind you, she has not eaten for 9 days. When I presented that steak to her, she just like, she did not swallow it, but she chewed the hell out of it. And finally, it fell out her mouth. Her jaws were drooping at that time. So her last meal was steak. She got to taste steak one last time. It was very fitting. So yeah, I let her lay all night. I went to bed. Because you never know. She might wake up. Yeah, it's a possibility. Funny story. When I was a kid, that happened. Well, they didn't wake up, but they popped up out of the casket. Some family member that I never knew. Still don't know. My feet falling asleep. Oh, my leg is asleep. Oh, I'm gonna wake it up. So the Saga of Charity, she's been everywhere. She came from the swamps of South Carolina. I met her, she was approximately 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years old, approximately. She was a puppy when she was taken to a family. Luke and his wife and new kid. They had a boy, and that was the dog, right? A wife, a kid, and a dog, and they were trying to raise a family. And so Charity raised a baby boy. She's always had this kind of motherly affinity when she'd see young little kids, little toddlers. She'd just kind of walk up to them, kind of nudge them, smell them, oh, you okay? All right, go about her business. Even if the kid was scared of it, she'd still walk up to him and go, yeah, what's up? She raised a family, a kid, a toddler. And then tragedy struck. Luke, his name Luke, he got into a car wreck, hurt himself really bad, ruined his life, so to speak, because after that he turned to addiction. He turned to cocaine, drinking, partying, and went down a dark path, and he took Charity with him. He got divorced. I did meet the wife and the kid, because they would come by and visit. But and Charity was always excited. The kid was like 3 or 5 years old, so that's what I'm kind of basing the timeline on. And so Luke was given a house to house sit by his parents, who were friends with the neighbors, in this golf course in South Carolina. Very strange house, very interesting house. These people traveled all over the world. They'd bring all their goodies, all the things they found, back to this house. And they were gone for like 6-7 months, something like that, a year almost. And there's just so many cool things just that they found all over the world. And lots of pictures of this family. I didn't know this family, never met them. Right? I did meet Luke's family, mom and dad, they owned a boat touring thing. I don't know. Luke worked with them, but they put Luke in the house, and they gave him an allowance, just enough to buy cigarettes and food, so that he couldn't buy cocaine. Right? But Luke was smart. Luke found me in the need of a house, a place to live, and he brought me in as roommate, gave me my own room and my own bathroom, and I paid him. No, not much. I forget how much it was, $300 a month or some shit. But it was just enough for him to go, wow, I get to buy cocaine, yay. And he would be gone from, before I came, he would be gone, because he'd find friends that did cocaine and stuff. And he'd be gone for benders for like a week or whatever. They would party at the house sometimes, but had to be on the down low because mommy and daddy were right across the street, watching his every move. So he'd be gone for like a week at a time. Charity in that room, in that house, all by herself, shitting and pissing everywhere. He'd take a big old 50-pound bag of kibble, open it up, and say, there you go. I'll be back whenever. And that's how Charity lived for I don't know how long. Possibly a year. And then when I came along, I got the room, which was her bathroom, shit and piss everywhere, and I cleaned it all up, and I changed everything. And he changed everything too. He wasn't. He got to stick around the house now, and of course I was working, and I'd come home and he'd be gone 2-3 days. Charity's still in the house, shitting and pissing everywhere, and so I'd take her for walks. It was just me and her. So yeah, of course she chose me. Which pissed off Luke because he would sleep with her. He was mean to her. He would come back. He'd come back home, see that she had shit and pissed everywhere, pick her up by the scruff of her neck and her butt and throw her out the door. Get the fuck out. She'd run wild, no leash, in the swamp surrounding an old golf course. So she grew up in the swamp, chasing and fighting alligators and raccoons and whatever other dog that was out there. She was wild. She would come back covered in blood and swamp. Like, man, what the fuck? And so I changed all that. I was like, no, fuck that. Don't you ever. And I told him, I said, you ever grab her like that? If I ever see you grab her like that and throw her out the door, I'm going to do the same thing to you. I had to. I had to say something. I had to. I couldn't stand it. He only did it once in my presence. And after that was it. He's like, all right. And so then I started taking her for walks, right? I would wake up in the morning, get ready for work, and I'd take her for a walk. She would do her thing. I'd make her. They kept food out for her, all the time, constantly. Constantly had food out for her. Her bowl was always full of kibble. And when they ate, they would always just throw stuff in the air and she'd snatch it out of the sky. Whatever they ate. It didn't matter what they ate. Whatever. So she had a terrible diet. People food and kibble. And whatever she was eating in the fucking swamp. And then, I changed all that, right? I took away her food and only gave it to her in the mornings and at night, like when I'd get home. When I'd leave for work, when I came home from work. They still continued to just feed her whatever. Then things got worse. I say worse in the household, and it was a chaotic place. More and more roommates started showing up. It was 8 of us at one point in time. 8 of us, and they all had one thing in common. They all did cocaine. They all drank. I drank a little bit, not much. I would enjoy in the festivities, and there was some smoking involved too. I enjoyed that greatly. always been a bit of a smoker all my life. Not so much anymore. New job and all. Yeah, can't smoke. But chaotic place. And one of them had a dog. A nice dog. Big 150-pound pit bull. White, not a pit bull, a bulldog. He was a bulldog. White bulldog. Baron, I think his name was. Yeah, great dog. But she was very territorial. Charity was. And she didn't play no games. It was fofo for her. Anytime she seen a dog, she would fucking attack and try to kill it. Anytime. Even outside. So, that roommate had to sleep. Well, at one time, he paid $500 to sleep on the couch. And Charity stayed in the room constantly. She only came out when there was a leash on. You know, because she would always try to fight Baron. Baron was such a sweet dog. Big dog, but such a sweet dog. Non-violent. But she still kicked his ass anyway. And so, this progressed for a long time. And then more roommates would come and go. And then this one guy brought this dog named Harley. Forget what kind of dog it was. It was a slightly long-haired, mid-size, about the size of Charity, but younger. 2 years old or something like that. He had the marking, he had the color of a German Shepherd, black and brown. But that dog was fast. He was fucking fast. His name was Harley. Almost looked like a miniature collie. I don't know, like a miniature lassie, but it just built kind of weird. He was fast, and so every time Charity seen him, was like tried to attack and kill him, and he just whoop, hot, too fast for you, bitch. You know, he's like, you can't catch me. Boom. I mean, anything she tried, he was just boom. He was like a ninja. Boom, boom, just dodging everything. Like ha ha. He would run circles around her, like fuck you, bitch. And she was fucking fast too. She was fast as fuck. And she was trying to get his ass. So eventually, they became friends. And they would chase each other around the fucking house. Just constantly chasing. It's like, what the fuck? And one day, they got on the bed, and I heard a yip. I was like, oh, somebody got bit. So, I walked in, I ran in there like, what the fuck? Y'all calm down. And they're both looking at each other like, sorry. I guess somebody got a hold of somebody. Charity got him or whatever. I heard a yep. I think she got him and she was like, oh, sorry. So after that, I was like, okay, y'all friends, huh? And sure enough, we would go on walks. They'd walk together, constantly hanging out together. And then, of course, that neighbor left. Took that dog with him. Harley. It was like probably her only friend. The same dog, Baron, he still lived there. He stayed downstairs. They did their thing. And then more dogs would come in, and she would just kick their ass. There was one, I don't know what this thing was, but it was massive. It looked like coal. She whooped that dog's ass every chance she got. And it was a girl dog. She had that dog scared to fucking death. She constantly, it was like a 150-pound dog. I don't know. Dog had a big old head, big old mouth. There's one dog that kicked Charity's ass. It was a really big dog. We were at the same place. It was a golf course, and then part of it was abandoned. It was getting overgrown by swamp. So we had this idea. We were going to go out there. We're going to shoot guns, little bitty guns, like 32s and 22s and shit. We're setting up little courses and stuff. We're taking pot shots at fucking cans. Ping, ping, ping. Right? And this old guy with a walking stick, You know, fucking dark leather cowboy hat, fucking all kinds of things. I mean, you know, and a big fucking brown dog. This thing was huge. Biggest fucking dog I ever seen in my life. I mean, setting down the dog's head, I'm 6 foot, and the dog's head was like up to my chest. Big fucking dog. And we meet, you know, we meet. I had Charity on a leash, and we're just hanging out, talking to this guy. And I'm hoping Charity, making Charity stay. You know, I've been doing discipline work with her, right? And out of nowhere, she's sitting. The dog is chill. The big dog is just chill. He's just sitting there like, whatever. Give a fuck. What's going on? Yeah, cool. And Charity, from a sitting position, lunged at this fucking dog, just quick. I mean, fucking quick. There's nothing I could do. I even had the leash shorted. She lunged and went and was like right within striking distance, and the dog just said, boom! Head-butted her, snapped his jaws around her throat, threw her down to the ground, and put his paw on her fucking neck, and just stood there like, what? Don't fucking try that shit again. And she was humbled. He didn't kill her. He didn't hurt her. He just slammed that bitch down. Slammed Charity down like a fucking sack of potatoes, like he called a football, and spiked that shit. And, you know, Charity at the time, she's like 45 pounds. This dog was probably like 200 pounds. But it wasn't like Cole or anything. It was a different kind of dog. He had the face of a Labrador Retriever kind of thing. But yeah, he handled that shit. Humbled her ass. She just kind of looked at him, like, gave him the side eye, like, and, you know, put her head down, like, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. So that's the one time I know that she got her ass kicked. There's been other times. So anyway, the time comes when everybody has to leave. Has to leave the house because the owners of the house are coming back. And Luke waits till like the last minute to tell everybody. And everybody's getting their shit out. About a week. He gave us about a week. He's like, yeah, we're all fucking, we gotta go. You know, and mommy and daddy are like, you gotta fucking, there's a party going on over there all the time. This is bullshit. You're fucking crazy. We kind of disown you. You know, you want to do drugs, fine. You want to ruin your life, fine. Fucking get out of here. You're destroying the place. And he was. 8 people, 10 people living in that fucking place, partying their ass off. Yeah. So, like I said, Charity had I made everybody walk her. I was like, you're going to take her out for a walk. What? No? Yeah, you're going to take her out. I would just pick people, designate people. You, take her for a walk. Okay. You know, if we had dogs, we would walk together. Keep it a distance, right? But so the time came, and Luke's getting ready to leave and stuff. And Charity's just like hanging out with me, like, you know, whatever. I had already moved all my shit out. It's been sitting in a storage unit for, you know, a couple of days. I was ready. I was like, okay, fine. Boom, gone. Everything's gone. I did leave my cruise book there, though. I'm missing my cruise book. Yeah. My Mew, I went on a Mew, and we had a cruise book. And I lost it there. It's probably still there. All their mementos and things of that nature. Like I said, it was a house of treasures. Treasures and memories of another family. So my cruise book is there somewhere. I'm sure. Oh, my ass is falling asleep now. Oh. So, Saga of Charity continues. Luke says, hey, I'm just going to grab Charity and we're going to just drop her off on the side of the road somewhere. On a dirt road. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. She's coming with me. And I made a promise with her. I mean, because she was like, well, what's going on? What's going to happen with me? You know, she's hanging out with me. You know. I was like, well, It's like I told her, I made a promise to her. I said, I will never abandon you. I'll always keep you safe. And that's what we did for years. And so I left, and I went to an apartment with a woman that the roommate with the white dog Baron. He had an old friend named Linda. Didn't know it at the time, but he was dating. He had history dating her son. Yeah, right. So he told me about her, and I went there, and we met, and she had 3 cats. You met the 3 cats. And Smokey, Boots, and Kelly. And so me and Charity lived there for a long time. Happy. I had my own room. Charity had the run of the place. She had to live with 3 cats. And Linda was about 65 years old. Amazing woman. She took me in. And then, out of nowhere, the same guy with the white dog who had told me about Linda and arranged the meeting for Linda, arranged me to live there, right? He shows up. He's destitute, has no place to go, him and his dog. I've already got a room, paying rent, and he shows up sleeping on the couch in the living room. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, small place. And he brings the dog with him. Charity doesn't like this dog. They've already, fought. And constant battle trying to keep these 2 separated. He's in the living room on the couch. I got to take her for walks. I don't know where this dog is, so I had to keep Charity in the bedroom, small little bedroom, for a long ass time. And then I'd have to grab her, carry her out the door, because she would try to kill him. She would try to kill Baron, the big white bulldog, every time. And did that for a long ass time. One day, it was terrible. I thought he was gone. I thought he had left. I heard him leave. And so I let Charity out. Right? So we could have breakfast, and, run out of the house, do whatever. No, he had just stepped out for a minute and came back in, snuck back in, and she latched onto his face, Baron's face, the dog, and tried to rip his face off. The guy, he was distraught. He didn't know what to do. He was like, he shut down. He was like, meh. I tried everything I could to try to get Charity. This is before I knew the technique, right? To how to break a dog fight. How to break up a dog fight. I did everything. I slapped her in her pussy. I fucking pinched her nipples. I poked her in the eyeball. I tried everything. And, yelling at her, she just kept tugging her. Claws, teeth firmly planted in his face. Poor dog, poor Baron, he was, man, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And so, finally I break her free. I had to choke her. Yeah, I had to choke her. I had to literally choke her. That's how you do it, by the way. You put the leash on them, and you put your hand in there, and twist, and pull. And it chokes them. And they will let go. You have to be careful, because you can also choke them to death. So, right? But you have to be careful of that. And she let go, and he was so fucking distraught and so mad. You know, it took a long time for him to figure out a place to leave, and he left. He did. He left finally. I'm like, wow, okay, great. And for years, me and Charity lived there. I don't know how long. 7 years, maybe. I think it was that we lived there. 3 cats and a dog. So Linda started going down in health. She had diabetes. She always had diabetes, and she finally died. Yeah, she finally died, and I arranged to take over the lease and to take care of the cats and Charity by myself. I was throwing papers. I did that for 5 years straight. Imagine that. 5 years straight. Every night. For 5 years. I never missed a night. And I kept a schedule going. Morning time feedings, walks. We had a great life. Charity, that's where Charity snatched a mad goose out of the sky and tried to attack us. I mean, literally, she could jump over my head. She jumped about 7-8 feet, grabbed this fucking goose, because he was coming at us like, rah, rah. They were protecting their nest. It was 2 of them, the male and the female. We just walked by them nesting. She went after it, or the geese went after us, and Charity was like, chomp, bam, slammed that thing to the ground, put her chest on him, stood over him, chest over him, like, what? It's like, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, goose shit everywhere. And there was one dog there that she liked. Little bitty weenie dog. Little bitty weenie dogs. Little zoomy weenie, and he would get out. They would just. I met the owners. Right? Lesbian couple, and they lived across the way. Big open fields with lakes. I mean, we walked constantly everywhere. I mean, me and Charity always got into the woods. Always got out into the woods and ran, just exploring everything. Always. So we knew this well. We knew this place well. It's a nice place. These guys are doing a lot of work. Yeah. Cutting up trees, they got a wood chipper, lights going, you can hear the truck going. So yeah, I mean, that was the one dog, I forget the dog's name. He would run up to Charity and go, wah, 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 and she'd go, ha, and try to snap at him, and he would just literally, as soon as she'd do that, boom, fall on his back in submissive position and pee. So after Charity got peed on and got peed in the face a few times, she's like, oh, okay, all right, well, fine, okay, we'll be friends. There was other dogs. No, she tried to kill a Chihuahua, massive fucking, no, not a Chihuahua, a Chow, big massive fucking dog. It's Chow. Anytime she got out, the door was open, she was gone, and she was on the hunt, and she was running, like she would run out the fucking door. Boom, full speed, full steam ahead, nose to the wind. Whatever dog was in that area got hit, and she was in that ass. Right, surprise attack out of nowhere. You know, black dog, whoosh, and she attacked this fucking chow, massive chow. This thing was massive, huge. You know, big furry chows, big dumb dogs too. You know? But they've got like armor. You know, she whooped that ass. This lady was walking this dog, and she was like, oh my god. That's what happened most of the time. It would be Charity on the loose attacking some Karen's dog, and this lady was a Karen. Cops showed up. Man, it was bad. I almost lost Charity on that one, and finally convinced the woman and the cop to just, it's all right, just, she's had a rough childhood. I'm trying to work with her. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. She got out of the house. Somebody came over and opened the door, and out she went. Boom. You know. And I got really good at chasing her down and tackling her. Like I would run her down. I could run. I was a super athlete too. She was a super athlete. I was a super athlete. And I would run that bitch down, hunt her down, because I don't know where she went. I just instinctively knew. I was like, she went right. Boom. And I'd be full speed. Boom. I'd see her. Bam. I'd get on her. And yep, sure enough, she's trying to tear into some dog. So that was our life there at the apartments in South Carolina for a while. And then, of course, COVID happened. Yay! You guys remember COVID? Yeah. Right. I lost my job. I got back into pest control for the very last time. They asked me to come back. And I left the paper industry was dying anyway. I was working for subcontracting for McClatchy, and I was doing everything. I would do paper routes. I would do the setups. I would do all this, everything I could to get money. I even got into selling fucking bags. Bought a pallet of bags, you know, the bags that the papers go in, and I was selling those to all the carriers, trying to make money. Spent $1,000 and made like $3,000 or something. I don't know, whatever. No, not much. I made $1,500. So yeah, I made $500 profit on, you know, buying bags. Interesting. But the whole time, you know, me and Charity stayed on a regiment, and I worked with her, and she got better. She got a lot better. And then, of course, COVID happened. I lost my job. And the details are fucked up on that. Well, let's just say it was a mutual understanding that they're fucking idiots, and I was smarter than them. But basically I got something, whatever it was. They told me it was an upper respiratory infection. I was gonna fucking die that night, so I took the company truck to Walmart, which was right down the street, which I had done before because it's a family-owned business, right? Yeah. And I got fired. They didn't want me around anyway because I was making too many waves. I was upsetting their nice little fucking thing they had. Even though the owner said we need a change, I was supposed to be that change. Anyway, so we became homeless, and that's when you've seen the videos, you know, of me in a camper with no power, 3 cats and a dog, and winter in South Carolina, which was oddly cold. It was in the freezing. I think snow fell. But 3 cats and Charity, constant walks, constant everywhere. And the owner, the next door neighbor of where I was living, said, "Hey, you want a job?" Sure. He's like, "It's a career. It's in Cleveland, Ohio." Like, Cleveland? Okay, fine. This place is a dead end for me anyway. I spent 20 years on the beach trying to make my fortune, trying to work, trying to do something. Failed miserably. Had to hustle many times, many years. So here I am, 3 cats and a dog. I can't take 3 cats, so I give the cats up to Polly's Island retreat. Great place. I hope they're doing well. I had heard that I had gotten updates that the cats did well. This is all archived as well on YouTube, on my my Facebook page, or on my YouTube page. You just have to dig for them, going back years. And so, boom, here we are. For 3 years, me and Charity, she went everywhere. We went to Missouri, went to Illinois. We went to Kentucky. We went to West Virginia. We went to Tennessee to see my mom. We went to the both bug out weekends, vision preparedness bug out weekends. I had hoped to take her on some more meetups. She's met so many people, and they all were just like, "Wow, what's up, Charity?" So many stories, all of course archived on YouTube. She has been her content. She has provided so much content to this channel. So much so I could probably call it the charity show. Thought about that one day. I'm like, I'm gonna put a little camera on her. Yeah. And then she developed a massive a lipoma, right? When we got here, and it started to grow. I'd taken her to the vet, and the vets were like, well, she's like, 15, 18 years old. I mean, she's long in the tooth. If it's going to get bigger, just feed her more. And if it doesn't bother her, just let it go. We can do surgery, sure, because the lipoma turned into a sarcoma. That massive bulge you see. They couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. They said they can cut it off for about $6,000, $3,000 to $6,000. I don't have that much money, and they want it all up front. There's no payments. It's boom. They do the work, you pay. So the vet, after about $700-800 later, was like, well, just feed her more and give her a good life. See how long it works out. And it did for 2 years. I think eventually that's what killed her. 'Cause cancer eats first, right? I did try giving her ivermectin. It seemed to do something, but she stayed spry until 9 days ago. For years, we went everywhere. She started to decline, and because she's old, so I was like, okay. I mean, we used to go for walks. Not only these woods, but other woods here in Ohio, other places. So many places. She ran down a cliff. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like a cliff, like one of these cliffs. Ran down that shit. While on the leash, I'm like, no! I thought I lost her. And she stops in the middle of the cliff looking back up and goes, are you coming? I'm like, no, get your fucking ass back up here. I can't go that way. That's death, She's like, fine, whatever. Turns around, runs back up the fucking cliff, like a mountain goat. She's a Rocky Mountain Feist. It's her breed. They run up and down. She was bred to run up and down the Rocky Mountains hunting. Hence why she has no fear. They've been known to fight to the death grizzly bears, cougars, whatever it is. And of course they hunt, right? So whatever, taking deer, whatever. The hunter. It's amazing breed. I never knew this. I never knew what kind of dog she was. So some dog guy walked up. He goes, wow, that's a Rocky Mountain Feist. He starts telling me all about it. And I started looking it up. I'm like, yeah, no shit. That's her. They're usually black and white. She's all black. She had a little bit of white on her chest. That's about it. But she was jet black. And built like a brick shit house. All her life, 43, 45 pounds. Right, and just built. People thought she was a pit bull, but she has long ears and long tail. Right. So yeah, we've had a great life. She's ate so much food. I changed her diet and everything, and she stayed healthy. Raw eggs, steak, chicken, rice, turmeric-infused rice, all kinds of treats, whatever. Fish, whatever. I started doing. Thank you, Dan. I started doing the. It was like I would switch up the meats. Sometimes it'd be ground hamburger, pure blood. Gave us venison ham. I ground up some venison hamburger for her and venison stuff. And, I mean, she's had a great life. Stayed healthy until about 9 days ago. She just stopped eating. She couldn't eat anymore. Everything she ate, she threw up. She drank a lot of water. And she started throwing up water too. She couldn't stomach anything. The last bit of food she probably had was that steak last night. This morning, early this morning. So yeah, it's a Saga of Charity. There's more stories. They're all archived, of course. So I give you this day. Saga of Charity. I'll come visit you often. I'll be out here. So thank you all, folks, for all the kind words, all the love, everyone that's ever met her, everyone. Hutch, Hillbilly Homestead, Backwoods, Elusive, Pot B, Trent, Double Dog Prepper, Ghost Lincoln, Sister Marie, everyone at the Dan H. Dan H. And the stories of the yeeted bacon. That's Charity right there. She snatched that shit. Gotcha. Bacon will yeet. Yeet. Yeah, she got that. She got it. Everyone that's ever met her. Thank you very much. She was such a loving person, a loving dog. She knew she was a great judge of character. Great judge of character. There's only one person that she never liked, and with good reason. When we lived at the apartments in South Carolina, I had a upstairs neighbor, stripper chick. Also worked for auto parts or something. But anyway, she had this beefcake fucking tattooed boyfriend who was an asshole. I mean, absolute asshole. You know, one of those guys, stayed in the gym, you know, obnoxious alpha male, always just, hey, what's up, you know, shake your hand, try to break it. Right. They would fight. I guess he would beat her a little bit, until one day she ran him off with a shotgun. Good job. But on one of his visits, he would come rolling through in his Dodge Charger, fucking neon green Dodge Charger, whatever it was, music blaring. Yeah, all right, you know the type, right? Tattooed, beefcake, you know, probably on steroids. And he'd walk by, and I'd sit on the balcony, or I'd sit on the porch, you know, of the apartment. And he'd walk up, leading to the parking lot. And he'd come walking by. He'd go, hey, can I pet your dog? And I was like, only if she lets you. I was like, really? Okay. Hey, girl, how you doing? And she was like, grrr. He's like, that's not very nice. You shouldn't let your dog do that. I was like, hey, she don't like you. I don't fucking like you. Keep it stepping. I told you. You can pet her if she wants you to. She don't want you to pet her. Goodbye. You know, if she don't like you, I don't fucking like you. And yeah, that was it. He was like, that fucking dog. I'm like, yeah, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, bro. keep it stepping. So, that's the only person that she's never really liked. And with good reason. He was an asshole. He used to beat his girlfriend. And I remember talking to her. She's like, the sex was great, but he was an asshole. And finally, she said that he hit her one time, threw her down, knocked her down, and she grabbed her shotgun and fucking told him to get the fuck out. It's like, all right, girl, go ahead on. So, Charity Saga ends today. Begins today. Because the saga continues. I have so many stories, so many mementos. I left her with some things. Some of her favorite things. Some treats. Her favorite hedgehog that she used to play with. So yes, the Saga of Charity. And all of you were a part of that. All of you. So this has been Mad Shad and Charity. Have a good day.